me find the 197 page. Okay. So consumption items are generally sent by the CC system, and from the consumption item, it is the rating needs to be taken place, and once the rating is done, then the billable item is generated. Okay, so ideally, consumption the CC system can send us billable item that will be billed and invoiced, or the CC system can send us consumption item which will be rated to form the billable item, and during this rating process we will again refer back to the CC system where the rating during the rating the calculation happens. That is actually whatever product is assigned to the contract provider contract based on the product and based on the pricing. Based on the pricing procedure, it will be um, rated, and once this rating happened, then the billable item is generated, and the same billable item will be billed and invoice, which we have already done. Okay, so in case of consumption item, little bit of back and forth happens. So if I open an Excel and explain. So in a normal scenario, uh, this is CC, this is CI. In a normal scenario, CC will generate a billable item and send it to CI. Okay, CI will receive the billable item directly, and that will be billed and invoiced in a normal scenario that we have seen already. Now, in some cases, what will happen? CC will provide consumption items, which is also known as seats. Okay, so the billable items are called bits and the consumption items are also called seats. So CC will send us seats, that is consumption item. This consumption item will be rated. Okay, now to rate the consumption item, we'll again refer to CC. The rating will happen in CI, but it will refer to CC for the logic because the consumption item may not consume the amounts. The consumption item will consume the will have the information which are needed to form to arrive at the amount. For example, the consumption item may send us the number of say how many, say in a telecommunication system, how many minutes the customer has talked, or how much data the customer has consumed. All those information, say for Netflix, how many GB of downloads has taken place, or maybe in YouTube, how many hours of live streaming has taken place. All those information, which is the input to arrive at the amount, will be sent. So in the consumption item, based on CDR, you will check, we'll see this consumption data record. The consumption item will be sent to CI, then it will be rated, and during the rating, it will refer to CC, and from CC, the actual rating will happen. And once it is rated, after this rating process, the billable item will be generated, then it will be billed and invoiced. Okay. So these additional steps, instead of directly getting a billable item, we will receive consumption item. Now, what is the scenario? Why do we need to do, why there are two options, either directly receive the bits or receiving seats? Because if I receive the bits directly, the CC already rating happens in CC in this case. So here the rating already happened in CC. But in this scenario, CC, instead of sending us the rating, will send us a consumption item, then it will be rated again by calling CC. Then we'll arrive at billable item. Why? In which scenario this kind of scenario happens, separate use case happens. So if your calculation logic is very simple, then we go ahead with this kind of scenario. Simple meaning, in CC, lot of calculation engines are working. For example, off peak, on peak. Okay. um, like in the to give you an example from my toll system, that in the toll system they have different rates. On the weekend they have a different rate, on the weekdays they have a different rate. Okay, same vehicle, say for a same four-wheeler, on weekend the rate will be something else, but for the weekdays the rate is something else. Okay, so that is called off peak and on peak. That is, peak hours the rate will be higher, and off peak hours, weekend hours, the rate will be lower. Or maybe for government vehicles, the rate is lower, but for private vehicles the rate is higher. So this kind of complicated requirement, complicated logic, is, if that is a scenario, then the rating initially happens in CC. But if it is, first of all, this is for consumption. Okay, so we found three type of bits. I told you about one time bit, one-time bit, recurring, and usage based. So we are talking about usage based bits. Okay. So one time and recurring, these amounts are already known to some, but this usage, this will come from the CC. So all the consumption item, I'm talking about the actual amount of consumption that has taken place. Okay. In telecommunication, say up to 1 GB per day is free. The data usage of 1 GB per day is free. Beyond 1 GB, say per 100 MB, say $5 or something. So that consumption I'm talking about. So if the consumption is complicated, lot of things have to be considered, then the consumption happens, the rating happens in CC. But if it is relatively simpler, then the rating happens in CI. Just rating happens in CI means the T code, the rating can be initiated from CI, but actual rating happens in CC only. Okay, so rating means the actual calculation, the multiplying the units consumed into the rate per unit. Okay, that is called rating. So let's go to the let's open SAP's ebook and see what they are talking about consumption item. Here's an example. Business customer B2B sales South has two provider contract. All acha, now we have to use the provider contract. Okay. So in my system, we have few provider contract already created, but I won't be able to use them. So for consumption items, I cannot show you from this system because my system is not integrated to CC. So when I try to rate, I will not be able to rate. I'll show this rating from a different system where maybe from a sandbox system where the systems are integrated, and this rating I'm going to show you during partner settlement. In partner settlement also we have consumption item. I will cover the consumption item example. So what will happen here in this training right now, I will create consumption item, but I cannot rate and form the billable item from my system. Okay, because my system is not integrated to a CC. But where I mean, during partner settlement, I'll show you how the consumption item is rated and the billable item is generated. So here till consumption item generation I'm going to show. I'll also show during rating what error will I get if my system is not integrated, and the billable item generation I'll show you during partner settlement. So here it is saying that um, so B2B customer, B2B sales South has two provider contract. Why provider contract is needed? Because provider contract contains the product, and product, along with the product, the pricing is mapped. Okay. So again, I have to understand what is the pricing procedure, like per minute how much, or per GB how much. So that thing, that tagging happens during the provider contract, and provider contract is not created in CI, it is created in SOM, and it is distributed to CI and CC. Okay, which we have already learned about. So here it says it has two PC provider contract. All the provider contract master data is replicated to conversion invoice. Okay, replicated means that is distributed. It is created elsewhere and distributed to our CI system. And provider contract has a start date of 1/1/2017. B2B customer sales South has done a lot of phone calls. that should be rated in convergent invoicing with a simple tariff of 0.19 euro per minute. So if the calculation is simple, then the rating can happen in convergent invoicing. Okay, so how many phone calls it has taken, and it has made, and sorry, how many hours it has talked, and what is the rate per unit. The consumption items are stored in convergent invoicing that represent voice usage between 30 uh, I mean 3rd Jan to 4th Jan. Okay, couple of days voice it has, I mean, it has recorded in the consumption items. Billing and invoicing should be done separately for each contract account. Now this is fine. So let's not talk about billing and invoicing. So here we have consume to cash process, new conversion invoice triggered rating. So now CI based rating it is talking about. So first module we have, let me zoom it. We have the CM convergent mediation. Okay, mediation, it collects the data, enriches the data, and orchestrates the data. Mediation of network events in offline or online mode, enrich network data and transfer it online to SABCC. So uh, CM will collect. CM works like a PIPO. In the traditional SAP world, you have learned about PI, process integration, XI. Okay, so which used to happen via IDOC. Later, we started using web services and API. So CM does the same thing. So it collects the data. So how many hours were talked, okay, during off peak season, during on peak season, or how many movies were downloaded, how many hours were streamed. So all these consumption records are collected by CM and it is pushed to CC, sent to CC. Okay. Then in CC, what happens? Acquisition and charging, transform standardized service events and link them to correct customer. So this is called charging. Okay. So finding out this will be, so rating and charging happens traditionally in CC. So rating means what is I mean this calculation, how much is the consumption multiplied by what is the rate, this is called rating. And what is charging? Charging is identifying the customer. So I have calculated, but whom am I going to send the bill to? That is, the SIT will generate, or the bit will be generated with which business partner, contract account, contract. That identification is called charging. So transform standardized service events and link them to correct customer, pass enriched service event to for further processing to SAPCC. So for SAP, sorry, SAPCI. So whatever information it has received from CM, it will find the customer who should be associated with it. Okay, and it will send to CI. Now in CI, the rating will happen, which earlier used to happen here in the CC side. Now, what is the rating here? Storage and processing of unrated consumption item. So, like we had for billable item, we had billable, billed, invoiced, different statuses. Similarly, here rated, unrated, raw, this kind of status we'll see. Okay, so storage and processing of unrated consumption items, performing the rating process according to business rules using CC. Okay, so here, as I mentioned, that when the rating will happen, it will refer to the rules of CC, because CI alone cannot alone cannot do the rating, although it is initiated here, but it is actually calling back and referring to the condition business rules in CC or other rating engine. If there is no CC, then any external charging system is there such a rating will happen. Okay, after that, once the rating is completed, in the billing will happen. Storage and processing of rated events coming from SAP convergent charging or other legacy system and considering additional data from other legacy system to create structured bill content. Okay, now the billing and invoicing happens. Okay, so this is what happens now here in the consumption item also. We will create consumption item class. So we created bit class earlier. Our bit class is Z102. Similarly, we have to create consumption item class, seat class Z102. I'll create the same name also, and there we have to store different custom field. In the custom field, we will store the information which will be helped in rating. For example of CDR, this is consumption data record before acquisition and charging. So acquisition and charging here, before acquisition and charging. Okay, so it happens in the CC side, acquisition and charging. So ZZ total due rate, this is a field where, and ZZ calling party, ZZ called party, ZZ start date, ZZ end date, these kind of custom field will be created. Okay, so total duration, say the total duration is stored here. Okay, calling party, say this is the customer BP, a called party, who has called or who is calling. Okay, this kind of information will be stored here. Consumption item class, consumption item type, consumption date, rating, from, status, BP, provider contract, contract account, customer ID, service identifier. These are the items of the consumption item class. These are the content of the consumption item class. Okay. What is consumption item? Is created when a customer consumes a service. The consumption is triggered from a actual usage. In the for example, talking. I mean, the data consumption, watching a movie, live streaming, or whatever. Or say in LinkedIn, you have given an option that you have taken LinkedIn Premium membership. It has given an option that per day you can apply to one job. This job which will not be available to you if you are not a premium member, but if you are a premium member you can apply to one job. When you apply to a job, CM will collect this information. Hey, the customer has already applied to a job, and it will be sent to CC, so that CC can restrict or disable the apply button for next 24 hours or maybe till 12 o'clock. Okay, so when the customer consumes a service, this seat is generated. Consumption item contains source information about that service. What is a service? It will contain. From convergent invoicing, you can subject unrated consumption item to rating. Okay, from CI system will rate the unrated one. The system accesses rated item during re-rating to the to rate the source information again. So it may happen that we have to re-rate. What is re-rate? So here we have rated already. Say in this scenario, we received the seat, we did rating, bid generated, billed, invoice. Now we came to know during the invoice, after the invoice is generated, we came to know there is some information, incorrect information may have happened. Okay, there is a source system has sent me some incorrect information. So what will happen? Two option, either up till seat is correct. Okay, during this rating some mistake has happened. What will happen? We'll reverse the invoice, we'll reverse the bill, and then the billable item we will again reverse the billable item, so it become unrated. Okay, so I will re-rate. Okay, because say in CC the pricing data record was incorrect. So if I so CC will fix it. CC will fix the business rule and all calculation engine. Then again, this time when I rate, the correct calculation rule is multiplied and the billable item is generated again. So when I reverse the billable item, the consumption item status becomes unrated. Once I rate, it becomes rated, and if I reverse, it becomes unrated. So now this time if I perform rating again, now the CC system will have the correct calculation. So it will be correctly calculated this time. Okay, this is called re-rating. So this is consumption item. So here example have given that scaled price can happen. So these things I cannot show you because for to show this in the CC side, we have to configure all those things. Okay, there are different business process that are supported by technical feature of consumption item. Scaled price. Price depends on overall volume within a period. So up to 100 minutes per month is 19 cent. 100 to 300 minutes per month is 15%, 15 cent per minute. More than 300 minutes per month, 13 cent per minute. Okay, like that staggered way, or creation and storage of partner consumption. So this item we will see in the partner settlement. So in this example, so the partner's consumption item will be stored. Okay, for example, Mr. Bovi downloads a song for €2. He is billed for €2. In case of a license fee for the song has to be paid to the song company, a consumption item for credit will be created and rated according to the partner contract of the song company. So in that case, we will receive will receive when we receive a customer's CI, customer's consumption item, and once the rating happens, what will happen? It will also create partners billable item. It will create during the billable item, during the rating part. Here, once this rating happens, what will happen? Say I am a customer. I have downloaded a movie. The movie is owned by say T cities. Okay, so once this rating happens, during the rating it will generate two bits, one customer bit, okay, which will be billed and invoice to the customer, say customer bit of 100 $100, and at the same time a partner bit will be also be generated. This partner bit will be of say minus 20. This is a payable. This we've been doing. This is AR. At the same time this is AP. That is, out of the $100 we will the client will collect from the customer. They have to deposit $20 with the pay $20 to the movie who has the movie license, right, or the creator of the movie, say T series or whatever, whoever is production house, to them we have to pay. Okay, so this scenario we will see in live system. Again, this scenario, to show you this scenario I need CC config ready, which I don't have. So here you will see in the for the customer bit it will have a separate customer BP, customer CA, customer provider contract. For the partner also there will be separate partner BP, partner CA, and partner agreement. Okay, so for the contract of partner is termed as partner agreement. Why? Because the difference is difference of the product. Different products are assigned here. So for a customer, a subscription product is assigned, but here a partner product is assigned. Okay, partner product contains the information of revenue sharing. That is, if it is consumed, how much of the total consumption need to be shared with a customer. Okay, we'll cover this in details in our partner settlement or revenue sharing sessions. So here also in this example, SAP has mentioned that this is a type of consumption item where this staggered or scale based calculation happens, and here for partner also this can be done. Okay, conversion invoice triggered rating for simple rating process, volume into price per volume. Okay, and storage of rating items in case of re-rating. For re-rating also it happens here. Here some examples of seat getting generated into bit is mentioned. Say this seat is created after rating. So here the initial unrated seats are there, and on the right hand side you see after rating it becomes bit. So seats are converted into bit here. These two seats are combined into a bit. So we'll also learn about rating group. There will be grouping. Okay, like in the billing invoicing we have learned selection item, grouping item, aggregation variant, like that. Here also in the rating also we can form a grouping. So here in this case these two seats are created into one bit. Here these two seats are created into one bit. Okay, this white seat is generated as white bit, then this orange one as another bit, this seat is bit. Now this last one is not rated. Okay, so here during dating we'll also do selection, grouping, and aggregation variant, like which of them will be grouped together, which will be not selected. Now here from the bit, these two are generated into one billing document, this one into one billing document. This bit is not due as per the scheduling, the bill from date is not reached. This is billing, this is into one billing document. Again during the billing, again selection, grouping, aggregation happens, and then finally these two are formed into one invoice. This one is this one formed into another invoice. Okay, so here system talks about we need to understand the provider contract. So I'll show you a provider contract, but here we will not have much provider contract. Okay, let's see if any provider contract is created here. Go to accounting, financial accounting, contract on receivable payable, master data, provider contract. See change display, overview, display counter values. We don't have a create option. Why? Because it is not created in CI. It is created upstream. When the subscription order is generated, then the provided contract is created and distributed to the lower systems like from SOM to CC and CI. So the create option, although the T code you can open, okay, FP underscore VT1, VT2, VT3, you can open VT1 and I mean you can go ahead and create, but I don't know how system will be able to create. Okay, so let me go to display and see FP underscore VT3. FP bottom right of my screen, FP underscore VT3 is a T code. Let me see if I have any provider contract already created here. Okay, so I see a couple of solid, this one's looks professional kind of. So uh, tasting discount at billable bit, somebody has created. So this is a provider contract. These are created I think here only directly in CI system. I think it is created. So this is name and this is under this business partner. Okay, so started I think it was created in 11th of November, and this is valid till infinity. That is the status is active. You see status is active here. Blank means active. The contract period has to be there. That is, this contract is for how many days. Okay, then in the items general data you'll find the validity. Different product wise validity will be there. Okay, say different service, say say I apply for a router, and along with that installation is there. So for each product different lines will be there. Okay, each product or services different line item will be there. So this is one validity. So it is valid from this date to this date, valid from valid to now the contract account is mentioned. So in the general data tab you found the business partner, and in the items general data tab you will find the contract account. Now here most of the information will be available in the, I mean for us, available in the account assignment tab. Here you will find the SD org structure, and here you'll find the FI org structure. Okay, so like sales organization, distribution channel, division, this will be configured here. And later if you scroll down, the company code, okay, this is created in our company code only. Business area, standard deviation, these are also mentioned. Segment, this is another FI org structure. If you scroll down here also you can have the order and WS element. Okay, so ideally when I post to the CEO account assignment, remember when I do the 2610 2611 posting, we derive transaction based CEO account assignment. So if it's a domestic sale, post to this profit center. If it's a international sale, post to another profit center. Okay, now if you put a order or WS element, you can derive from here also. So every time I'm posting a transaction for this contract account, this contract, I'll record to this internal order, or I'll record to this WS structure, work breakdown structure. Okay, now here we'll have the product. Okay, somebody has created discount test, a discount product. If you if you double click, it'll open the MM03 screen, which is the material master. Okay, select all. I don't know under which plant it is created, so I'll not put any plant. This is how the product look like. Okay, material disc underscore test, some item group and all this you may have seen in the MMSD side. So different tabs are there. Sales organization, blah blah blah. This information, don't worry, these will be created from upstream. Okay, so I don't know under which plant it is created. So the product is assigned here. Now in absence of the product you cannot do the consumption item. Why? For consumption item generation I need the product. That is I need the contract, provided contract, and the provided contract has the product. So the seats will always come with a contract. the invoices will also come with contract, sorry, the bits will also come with contract, but I can at least test without contract. But for seat I must need a contract. Okay, then at contract level also I can derive the payment method, incoming payment method, outgoing payment method, bank and all, which we determine at CA level. We can also determine further drill down at contract level also. Then some dunning procedure we can assign, like in CA we'll assign dunning procedure. In the contract level also you can assign a dunning procedure, dunning lock. And then in the CI side we have billing cycle scheduling also, like we did in CA we can also do it at contract account level also. Okay, okay, so the contract is mandatory for the consumption item. So let me show you from this, will take longer time. Let me here I can, because before I go to the system I want to show you not in detail. Okay, consumption item, consumption data record triggers by business event or usage of services are captured by mediation or third party software. We have already learned that it will be sent by CM. Consumption item contains the details of usage of services like type of unit, unit duration, amount per unit which is required in rating and charging process. The consumption item either stored conversion invoicing for rating and re-rating. This we have already learned. So here we will configure the consumption item class. Like we created the bit class, that code is fkk big seat underscore conf, or you can open from the config. Okay, so here the path is mentioned. So let's go to the system and configure the consumption item class. FICA img uh, convergent invoicing, basic functions. So we earlier went to billable items. Now we are going to configure consumption items. Expand consumption item classes. So here there also we had billable item class, billable item management, reversal of billable items. Here also we have consumption item classes. So, and there we found interface components. Here some standard interface components are also given, not that much like bit. So we have only 24. In bit we found more than around 50. Okay, so here as I mentioned that most of the time, so I have worked in multiple projects. uh, all of them did not have seat. Okay, for example the toll plaza, we just created the seat for CM, but CM never sends us value in the seats. They always send us the bit, because of the complexity, because of the complex calculation logic. We don't initiate the rating, because calling the rating again, calling CC, we can lose some data. So it's better to have directly calculated from from CC directly. Okay, so it is not mandatory everywhere, so less amount of interface components are there. And now maintain consumption item classes. Okay, so create consumption item classes. So you'll see compared to bit, very less seat classes are configured. But let's create, I don't have a z102, so click on create button, z102. Okay, I'll call it z102 partner consumption item class. Okay, although partner I'll show separately. So here let's say we create it for consumption, partner consumption item class. Okay, create the consumption item class. Let's follow the instruction here. So I already went to this note, maintain consumption item class. To store the consumption items, seat class is created like bit class. Okay, so I'm creating it. It contains the technical characteristics of consumption items. So for billable items, it contains the technical characteristics of billable item. It is for consumption items. A consumption item class in CI corresponds to a chargeable item class in CC. So in CC, once I create the consumption item class, I'll send it to the, say I create Z1 or 2, I'll confirm them. They will create a chargeable item class and they'll map it with us. Okay, like for billing, when I created the billable item, they would create a charged item class and they'll map it. For consumption item class, they will create a chargeable item class and they'll map it with our consumption item class. Okay, in CC they have chargeable item class, in CI we have consumption item class, and they'll map it together. The mapping happens at their end. Okay, we just need to send the 4-digit alphanumeric consumption item class that this is our seed class. You do the mapping in your system. Okay, this means that the name of the class, the fields, and the field name must be same. Okay, so they are chargeable item class will also have to be Z1 or 2. I have never seen that. I generally tell them that this is the number that we have created, you do your mapping, but here it is saying that it has to be same in CC also. That I don't know, but we can check later. Bit class are mapped to chargeable item class in CC. Okay, so as I told, no, I think it is charged item class. That this one I'll check later. I think bit class is with charged item class and seed class with chargeable item class. Okay, anyways, now step to create. So here select new class. So I have created new class. Click on the interface tab, select interface component as per requirement. So now I'll go to the interface component. So it is now a new status. So here also I have interface component, so I'll choose the interface components. See, very less. So, okay, this one we have already seen, less consumption item classes are there. So choose the consumption item type, rating type, amount you can choose here. SAP conversion charging, I think here it will mention which ones to choose from. So here following interfaces must be selected. Basic data for consumption item, it is already selected here. The first one, basic data for consumption item. Next it is saying consumption item level, external provider contact reference, SAP consumption item level, external provider, what was that, external provider contact reference. This one, external provider contact reference, and the last one it is saying that SAP convergent charging. This one I have already chosen, SAP convergent charging. Okay, so here I'm not because I'm not going to perform the rating. That's why whatever I choose, I cannot show the end user part of it, because when I do rating, it will go to CC and it will not find any chargeable item class. It will not find a CC at all, so the rating will not happen. Rating I'll show you from a live system. So I have chosen few. Here also we have card payment and all. I have chosen few interface components. Click on the green tick here. At least the one prerequisite consumption is also activated. Okay, so I think this one is activated. So the interface components are already activated. Now here also I need to add customer fields. So let's come back in 1 minute and I'll add the customer fields. Like bit class we added custom fields. Now I'll show you how in the seed class how to add the custom fields. Okay, so let's join back in 1 minute. Thank you.